everybody, Sam'sTrains here, welcome back to the railway and welcome to another running session here on the layout. Today is a bit of a different episode, a bit of a special one, because today of course I'm going to be celebrating the fact that this channel has reached 10,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to talk a little more about that in just a second, but yeah, this video is a little bit on the late side. It's probably more like the 11,000 subscriber special now, because yeah, this came along just at the wrong moment, just when diesel month was getting started, and because this video is going to feature mostly steam locomotives, I thought it wouldn't really fit in with the diesel month theme. So I've had to wait until diesel month was over, and now that it is over, I can crack on with this. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. But first of all, before I talk about the running session, I've got to say, of course, a big thank you to everybody out there watching. I never thought my little channel would ever get anywhere near 10,000 subscribers, and the fact that it's still growing even now is still really amazing. So thank you to all of you guys, because of course, no matter what I do, no matter how much work I put into this, if you people didn't keep coming back and tuning in and giving me your wonderful support, things would have just packed up a long time ago. So I really do have to thank you very, very much for letting me do what I love. So thank you very much, and I hope you love this video. Okay, so this video then, it's your favourite locomotive. So I thought I'd better talk a little bit about how I chose these favourites. So I looked back over some of my old videos and I looked at which had been viewed the most. So I think 3 of them are chosen like that. And I think you can guess which one of those is going to be. And for the others, you'll remember in some running sessions I put up little polls towards the end to ask you which loco was your favourite from the session. So I've been using a few of those polls to select some of the locos for today, based on what you guys chose as your favourite. So yeah, I hope you're going to enjoy it. Of course, I've only got time to run 6, so if there are some locos that you think should have been involved in this running session because they're your favourites and they weren't involved, do let me know which locos they were in the comments and why, and maybe I'll do another one of these one day, who knows. But for now then, let's get started with the first loco. It's one that everybody loves, and it is from the video that has the most views on my channel, all told. So here we go. So of course the first loco today is Gordon, as you can tell, and yes, the review I made of him was actually the single most viewed video on my entire channel, and in fact it's had nearly 500,000 views with a total watch time of well over 1 million minutes, and that basically means that you could watch my Gordon review over and over again 24 hours a day solidly for 2 years and you still wouldn't have matched the total watch time of this video. And it's been out there only since January or February of this year, so yeah, pretty crazy. So definitely a favourite, I would say, and as you can see he's sat there on the turntable, so I'm going to get him off the turntable in just a second, and he's going to be coupling to these coaches over here on the inner line, and loads of people were asking to see Gordon pull some green coaches, so that's what's happening. And of course he has the Thomas & Friends utilities van as well, so let me get this turntable round to him then. There we go, and he is actually going to, oops, wrong way Gordon. Oops, a bit far I think. Yeah, and he is actually going to be turning all the way around. So I'm going to do that right now, because he needs to be facing the other way. So move the camera so you can see it. There he goes. Good old Gordon. And this is the Hornby one, but if you'd like me to try and get a Bachmann one to review at some point, I would be very happy to do that. Right, got to stop this. There we go, perfect. Right, let's see if we can get him off again. All the way, Gordon. There we go. Here he comes. I'm going to try and keep him in focus if I can. And of course he's going to be aiming for the inner line then, so I'm just going to open these points for him. Whoops, if I don't trash the place first. Come on now, Gordon. Okay. And then he's ready to go straight across that second set of points, which will take him exactly where we need him to be. So open those up. I'm not sure which direction this controller is set to go. Oh no, that was right. Perfect. Okay, and change direction. Reset the points again. And if I just reverse him now, he should find his coaches. So let's see how that goes, shall we? See you in a minute, Gordon. I think also we ought to congratulate Gordon for his performance on the turntable there. I didn't say anything about that a minute ago, but it was very impressive, wasn't it? Less impressive is his ability to couple to rolling stock, which I have to give you poor marks on, Gordon. So I'll just have to do that manually. Right, I think that's better. Right, so I know you can't see the coaches too well. Well, in fact, you can't see them at all, really, can you? So let's get Gordon to pull those out, and we'll have a quick running session with him. Oh, forwards, Gordon. And I'll also give you a little bit of history on Gordon as well. I know I've told it before, but I'll tell it again because it's quite interesting. Okay, speed him up. So Gordon, as you know, was built by Sir Nigel Gresley in 1922 and later became the basis for Gresley's A1. Gordon was sent to Sodor in 1923, where he can still be found today. He also has a TV career, of course, and he's played himself in Thomas and Friends since the 1980s. Although he is technically considered an actor, it's said that he's just like his character in real life. This year Gordon is celebrating his 95th birthday, and of course he's still acting today. And a few quick shout outs to Patriot Works, Extreme Express, and his video, he's made a video on his channel, so check that out, and also the Hornby Thomas channel. Alright then, let's give the mighty Gordon a little bit of a rest. Oops, has he gone a bit far? He's going to run again in a second alongside the others, but I've first got to show you what the others are, so let's move on and I'll show you. Okay, next up is a very special locomotive, and this is the Hornby A4. It's Gadwell with the TTS sound, and I always say that this is the loco that started it all. It wasn't the first loco I made a review on, definitely not, there was quite a lot before it. But this was the very first loco ever to get a decent number of views. I think this was the first one to get 20,000 views when all my others would be getting, you know, 100, maybe 200 views or something like that. So definitely it was the success of Gadwell's review that persuaded me to try and make some decent quality videos, and I'm not saying I've succeeded in that yet, but yeah, it was Gadwell that made me try. So yes, she represents my first ever successful video, or you know, vaguely successful video, and it was her that made me want to try and make a decent trains channel, and it was her that made me want to make weekly videos and all that sort of thing. And I really do think without Gadwell, and without that Gadwell video, I wouldn't have been able to grow the channel the way I have done. So yeah, we owe a lot to Gadwell, well I do anyway. So let me turn her sound on for you. There we go, let's give her a little whistle, just while we're waiting. And I'll get her onto the turntable. Turn this round. There we go. So yes, you'll notice that I've never replaced my original review of Gadwell, because that was quite a special review. It is very out of date now, and I really do need to replace it, but I still can't make my mind up whether I'm going to or not. Stop. Oh, she's gone a bit too far. Whoops. Back you come. Yeah, that's the trouble with DCC. I can't really drive them all that accurately because they slow down at their own rate. Right, that should be okay, I think. Right, let's turn her all the way around then, and I will show you the coaches that she's got. So while she's turning, she's going to be coupling up to these ex-LNER coaches in the blood and custard livery, which are very nice, I think. So yeah, as soon as she gets round. But that's the beauty about my modified turntable, with credit to Barry Davis. You can just run a DCC loco on it like this and control it wherever it is on the turntable. Right, here we go then, let's take her off. Forward she goes. Not too fast, mind. Whistle. There we go. Right, so to the middle line she goes then. I can follow her around if you like. Oh yes. You can see why people went crazy about her, can't you? Very lovely. Look at that, you can just see Gordon's face in the bottom corner. Well, over on the right. Okay, I'm going to flip her into reverse and open these points. And I did flip her into reverse first because it takes a little while for these to stop and go back the other way. So hopefully she'll come back into shot very shortly. There we go, and if I'm nice and steady, she should be able to go straight to her coaches. So let me shut these. There we go. Okay, I'll go and film the coupling, shall I? Right, I'm going to slow her right down.
Oh, no I'm not. Okay, she slowed down a bit too late. So once again we've got a traditional Sam'sTrains coupling, which basically throws all the passengers onto the floor. I'm keeping her going though, so that she comes into shot. Can't really see her too well because of the fencing and everything, but there we go. Let's bring her into focus. So there you go, I'm going to get her running forwards now with the coaches, and I'll leave the camera here so that you can see them all go by, and then I'll give you a little bit of history on the A4s. I know some of you know already, but I always find it interesting, so here she goes then. Let's have another whistle. Oh yes, look at those. Nothing like LNER coaches. So the A4s were a class of LNER Pacific designed by Sir Nigel Gresley once again and introduced in 1935. The first locomotive was Silver Link, which broke all speed records during its very first run. The A4s were made most famous by Mallard though, known as the world's fastest steam locomotive, and she achieved that title in 1938 at a little bit over 126 miles per hour. The A4s were based on the Class A1 as well, which was also a Gresley design of course, but they were produced around 15 years previously. 35 of these were built in total, and 6 are left. Okay, I'm going to get Gadwell to stop just there then, just next to Gordon. There we go. Let's have one more whistle for the time being. There we go, lovely. And I'm going to just turn the sound off just so that it doesn't get a bit obnoxious over the next section. There we go. Alright, nice and quiet again. Ah, how nice. Okay, let's move on to the next loco then, which again was a very, very popular one back in its day. Okay, the next loco is one that everybody definitely loves because every time I put this one in a video it gets loads and loads of comments. This of course is the LB and SC E2, which is of course the loco that Thomas the Tank Engine was based on. And yeah, this one was a very important loco for me as well because when I made the review of her originally, something very unexpected happened. The video got massive amounts of views. It wasn't supposed to because it was just a little old 060, but because Thomas was based on this, it got a crazy number of views, and it was actually the E2 video that persuaded me to buy a Thomas train set and show it on the channel to see how that goes. And of course, now that I have started doing the odd Thomas video, I would never have gotten into Thomas and Friends locos if it hadn't been for the success of the E2 video. So I know you all love to see her, so I'm going to use her today. Let's get her onto the turntable. Oh yes, and she's going to be pulling some Southern coaches, just 3 of those. I don't actually have any LB and SC coaches, which is a bit of a shame, but I would like to get some one day. Okay, let's get the turntable round to her then. And we've not got to spin this one all the way around, luckily. So let me just get her on. There we go. And let's turn the turntable back again. There we go. And she's gone out of shot a bit. One sec. There we go. And let's get her around then. I mean, she's going to be on the outside line, so we haven't got much shunting to do with her. But as you can see, for an old loco, she really does run very nicely. Okay, let's go and get her coupled, shall we? Okay, just get her out of these sidings. Just stop her there. Shut that point for her and send her back. And hopefully she's going to look lovely with those Southern coaches. So let's send her off and see her couple. Yep, she's coupled. There we go then, let's see how she goes. The lovely E2 with some Southern coaches. Here she goes. And I'll also give you a little bit of history as always. Okay, here we go. So the E2s were a set of 10 locomotives designed by J.B. Billington for the LB and SCR railway. They were intended for shunting or short journeys with freight trains, and the class had quite small coal bunkers initially, which prevented them from doing longer journeys. A second batch of E2s were quickly produced, which had a number of improvements, including larger water tanks to increase the running distance. All were scrapped though, sadly, and it's only really Thomas that lives on. Well, that was absolutely gorgeous. I truly don't run that E2 as much as I ought to. Anyway, let's get the others started then. Let's bring the sound back onto Gadwell. And we'll get her to do a cruise speed, shall we, this time? So, nice and fast for you, Gadwell. And while you're getting accelerating, I'm going to start Gordon as well. So, enjoy this running session. And, yes. Can't think of anything else to say. Alright, let's go. There we go, there's nothing quite like seeing an A4 at speed, is there? And Gordon as well, of course. Oh yes. Yeah, you've all got good taste, haven't you? You definitely choose the best locos to watch. Especially Gadwell. Oh, look at that. Well, I've really enjoyed running those three actually. Three completely different locomotives. I'm going to take these off now and get ready for the second half of the video, so don't go anywhere and I'll be right back. Alright folks, see you in a second. Okay, so everything's back into its sidings as you can see, which means that I'm ready to move on. So the next one, this one was actually voted by you. This one is the Flying Scotsman, as you can see, 4472, Hornby Railroad one. And you guys voted that this was your favourite in my running session about the fastest British locomotives, which you can see. I'll put a little teaser up in the top corner for you. And so yeah, as you can see, she's got 5 L&ER teak coaches, which are spread over 2 sidings. So I'm going to have to do a tiny bit of shunting, but nothing too serious. So let's get her started then, and let's get this shunting done. Right, I'll just open that point. There we go. And let's get her started. Now, bit naughty because this is a DCC locomotive, but I'm going to be running it on DC, so as you can see she's stopped already. That's probably due to the points though, so I'll give her a bit of a hand. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. Yeah, don't know what's cracking off there. Okay, let me swap this point. Bear with me. There we go. Now let's bring her back into couple to the rest of the coaches. Oh. I'll tell you what though, these coaches are a nightmare on these points. Right, excuse me again, I've got to bring the hand of God in, just so I can put this back on. I suspect the other bogey's come off as well, and yes it has. Oh, I don't know. Right, I think that might be okay, I'm not 100% sure, so let me change direction and get her out of there. Yeah, the thing is when you run a DCC loco on DC, it does tend to fly unexpectedly, so... Oh well, right, she's going now anyway, so here's a little bit of history on her. So the Flying Scotsman was built in 1923 for the Great Northern Railway, and at that time she was an A1. Later, as with the other A1s, she was modified to have a better boiler, smaller cylinders, and altered Welshurt's valve gear, and these changes led to the eventual reclassification into an A3, as it is today. The Flying Scotsman also set 2 world records, the first for officially reaching 100 miles an hour before any other locomotive, and the second one for completing the longest non-stop run for a steam locomotive, or this was, I think, later beaten in 1989. After being saved from scrap, the Flying Scotsman has seen multiple owners, and she's now owned by the National Railway Museum, of course, who have just given it its big overhaul, and you can now see her running again. In total, 79 A3s were produced during the 1920s and the 1930s, although the Flying Scotsman is the only one preserved. Okay, let's let the lovely Flying Scotsman have a little bit of a break. There we go, and she's going to be running again in just a second, but now let's move on to the next engine and see what you think of her. Okay, next up then, quite a rare model this one, and this one always gets loads of comments, which is why it's in this video. This of course is Stephensons Rocket, the lovely Triang version, and of course she has her tender and little coach. But let's get her started. I'm going to open up these points for her. There we go, and hopefully she'll get out of this siding okay, so fingers crossed please, let's see what happens. Yeah, she tends to struggle in those sidings because the wheel flanges catch on the ballast a little bit.
There we are. Gently does it. Yeah, this is a loco that won't like running slowly, no matter what you do. I mean, she'll do a bit of a slow crawl, but not really. Okay, I think she might be just stuck on those points. I noticed she stopped a bit awkwardly. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to have to speed her up, because as you can see, she stopped. But here we go then with a little bit of history on Stephensons Rocket. Off she goes. So the Rocket was built in 1829 by Robert Stephenson and Company and was one of the first locomotives to be deemed successful. It won the Rainhill Trials in 1829, which was a competition where different engines competed to be chosen to run the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. It formed the basis of all steam locomotives to follow, and thus it's a very important locomotive really, still today. It is still around today in the London Science Museum, though it doesn't really resemble its old self, because it's been modified so much over the years. Instead though, a replica of its original look can be found at the National Railway Museum, which looks the way it used to, of course. So this engine is quite an old one, and I don't really want to run her too long in case she overheats. So I'm going to let her cool down for a second, just there next to the Flying Scotsman, there we go. And by the time you run her again, she should be nice and cool. So let me show you the last loco of the day and see what you think of her. Alright, this one is a really popular loco. I always get loads of comments every time I show this one, so people seem to love her. You guys voted for her in the Southern Railway running session as your favourite, so that's why she's here today, and I always love running this one as well. Of course, it's the Southern Railways Q1 with a little Southern Railways train with some boxcars and cattle wagons and that sort of thing on the back, well, livestock wagons at least. You can see the E2 there in the background, love that one as well. Okay, let's open the points and let's get her started then. The BR Black Q1. Oh yes, such a beauty this one. Okay, here's a little bit of history on them then. Designed by Oliver Bulleid, the Q1 appeared in 1942 and was a class of austerity freight locomotives used heavily during the Second World War. Although to many the class was not attractive, the engines were extremely efficient and powerful and were eventually considered the ultimate design of 060 locomotive. The Q1s easily hauled trains which were usually only suitable for much larger engines, making them useful for all manner of different duties. A total of 40 were built during 1942, though sadly only one remains in preservation, and once again you can see that at the NRM. Oh, it's so nice to see her run so smoothly, just after the speed of the Rocket, I suppose. Anyway, let's get the others started then, so that we can have one last running session with them. There's Rocket, not going too quick. And the Flying Scotsman, probably will go quite quick, despite my best efforts. But there we go, hope you enjoy this last little running session. There we go, Rocket going by. See if anybody else is going to come out and join her. The Scotsman should be on its way. Yes, looking lovely of course with those LNER coaches. The Q1's a bit slower, so we might have to go elsewhere to catch her. Blimey, she's quick, isn't she, Stephen? Just waiting for the Q1 really. It's like train spotting in real life, isn't it? Nope, she's definitely on the way. There we go. I think there's nothing better than a Q1 going at such a great little slow speed. Look at that. Again, I can see why she's so popular. Just beauties, aren't they? And I put that Wren utilities van on the end, just for a change. I don't often put that on, do I?
There's Stephen again, racing. A bit awkward to film that one actually, just because he is so quick. That's why I much prefer the Q1. Well, I mean the model is just as good, but you know, the performance is a bit bad. That's why I think we ought to campaign to get a brand new tooling of the Stephensons Rocket made, with full tender pickups and a cast metal body. Oh, I don't know, you can dream, can't you? There we go, lovely. Okay then folks, well that will just about do it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I do love having your company, of course. Don't forget that the other half of my business is the repair and servicing service. So if you've got any loco trouble, feel free to look me up on eBay or send me an email to samstrains@outlook.com. Also, if you'd like to, feel free to check out the Facebook or Twitter pages, which are at facebook.com/Sam'sTrains or twitter.com/Sam'sTrains. It would be very lovely to see you over there, but for now, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Cheers everybody, and thanks for all your support. It really does mean the world.